In December 2024, a 31-year-old developer opened his laptop in his apartment. No co-founder, no investors, no team, no marketing budget. 6 months later, he walked away with $80 million in cash. That's not a movie plot. That actually happened. And it might be the clearest signal yet that the rules of building a company have permanently changed. At Anthropic's developer conference in May 2025, someone asked CEO Dario Amodei a question most people would have laughed at 5 years ago. When will the first billion-dollar one-person company exist? His answer wasn't maybe someday. He gave it a 70 to 80% chance of happening by 2026. And he wasn't alone. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, revealed he has a private group chat with other tech CEOs, and they have an active betting pool on exactly when this happens. Not if, when. Instagram's co-founder Mike Krieger was sitting right there at the conference. He said something that puts this whole conversation in perspective. I built a billion-dollar company with 13 people. The only reason we needed that many was content moderation. Then Amodei turned to him and asked, could you have built Instagram alone with today's AI? Krieger said he'd still want his co-founder, but the two of them together, they could probably handle everything else. Okay, Amodei said, maybe it's a two-person company, but we'll get close.
So why is this suddenly possible in 2026 when it wasn't in 2020? 3 things converged at exactly the same time. First, AI agents stopped being demos and became real workers. You can now deploy a coding agent that understands your entire code base, a marketing agent that generates and tests campaigns, a customer support agent that handles tickets around the clock, and an analytics agent that monitors your metrics in real time. These aren't tools you use, they're functions you manage. Second, the cost of running a company collapsed. A complete operational tech stack for a solo founder in 2026 runs between $3,000 and $12,000 per year. That same output from a traditional team would cost hundreds of thousands in salaries, benefits, and overhead. Third, the margins became extraordinary. Solo AI-powered businesses are reporting operating margins of 60 to 80%. The average traditional business, 10 to 20%. That's not a small difference. That's a completely different financial reality.
The old model was build a team, burn cash, raise funding, hope to survive. The new model, one person, the right AI stack, near zero overhead, and margins that would make most CEOs cry. Now back to that 31-year-old with the laptop. His name is Maor Shlomo, and his story might be the best proof we have that this shift is already happening. Maor wasn't a beginner. He had previously co-founded a data analytics company called Explorium, which raised $130 million in funding. He built and run a serious company. But in late 2024, after finishing a year of military reserve duty in Israel, he sat down alone and started building something new. The original idea was simple. He was trying to help his girlfriend, an artist, build a website. He got frustrated with the existing tools, and he thought, what if AI could just build the app from a plain English description? That idea became Base44. He launched it with almost no marketing. His first 10 users were friends and family. He personally asked for feedback. But then, something happened that Maor couldn't have planned for. People started using Base44 for things he'd never imagined. Building inventory systems, scheduling tools, internal dashboards. The platform had taken on a life of its own. Instead of running ads, Maor shared everything publicly. On LinkedIn and on X, he posted his numbers, his setbacks, his technical breakthroughs. He wasn't selling Base44, he was telling the story of building it. Users who saw 10 or 15 updates eventually converted, not because of a sales funnel, but because they trusted him.
3 weeks after launch, $1 million in annual recurring revenue. 6 months after launch, 400,000 users, acquired by Wix for $80 million in cash, with the potential for an additional $90 million in earnout payments. Total outside funding raised? 0. Maor signed the acquisition deal the day after Iran fired missiles at Israel. He signed it anyway. Maor isn't an isolated case. He's the sharpest example of a pattern that's quietly becoming the new normal. Danny Postma built Headshot Pro, an AI headshot generator working solo from Bali. It reached $3.6 million in annual recurring revenue. He also built a previous AI product called Headline that sold for $1 million just 8 months after launch. Pieter Levels runs an entire portfolio of products, Nomad List and Remote OK among them, completely solo. That portfolio generates over $3 million annually. 0 employees. Midjourney, the AI image generation platform built by David Holtz with fewer than 15 people, reached a reported $200 million in annual revenue. That works out to roughly $18 million in revenue per employee. And according to the 2025 Solo Founders Report by Carta, the share of new U.S. startups founded by solo entrepreneurs rose from 23.7% in 2019 to 36.3% by mid-2025. More than 1 in 3 new companies is now being started by a single person. Here's what these founders have in common, and it's not luck. 1. They solved a narrow, specific problem instead of trying to build something massive from day one. 2. They kept overhead near 0 by treating AI agents as their team, not as tools. 3. They built in public. Transparency became their marketing strategy. 4. When revenue crossed $10,000 a month, they reinvested in better tools and distribution, not headcount. 5. They moved fast, not sloppy, fast with quality. The founders who lost were the ones who waited until everything was perfect. The ones who won shipped, listened, and iterated. So, can one person actually build a billion-dollar company? The evidence says we're not waiting for this to happen anymore. We're watching it happen right now. The real question isn't whether the tools exist. They do. The question is whether you're the kind of person who picks up the tools, or the kind who waits to see what everyone else builds with them. Maor started with a laptop, a frustrated girlfriend who needed a website, and no plan beyond solving that one problem. $80 million later, that problem turned out to be worth solving. If you want the daily breakdown of how AI is changing the rules of business, wealth, and opportunity, subscribe. Every single day, we find the story most people miss. Don't miss tomorrow's.